Hello and welcome to Talking Business with Beverly. I am your host and business strategist, Beverly Walthour. And so we want to thank you for joining us as we support you, the entrepreneur, in creating the time and financial freedom in your business. And so we do this by not only addressing your business needs, but also your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial needs as well. And now join me in welcoming Nikki Boyd to the show. Hello, Nikki. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am awesome. So Nikki is actually a purpose coach. So we're going to dive all into what is a purpose coach and just how she actually supports entrepreneurs on their journey. And so Nikki, before we actually dive into the conversation, I love to play this game with my guests where I ask them 3 random questions.
Uh-oh.
So Nikki, are you game to play the game?
I am game to play the game.
Okay, awesome. So Nikki, what is if you could be any animal, what would you be?
A giraffe.
Oh, why a giraffe?
Because giraffes are so tall. And, I have this short
syndrome. The short person,
Yeah. So I would be a giraffe because they're cool, you know. They're not loud. They can see everything. And they're not wild. So I like the calm demeanor of a giraffe and the fact that they're tall.
I love that. And so, Nikki, if you could watch one movie over and over and over again, what would that movie be?
Love and Hip Hop.
I'm not even going to say anything. Oh, okay, we're going to let her have her Love and Hip Hop.
No, Love and Basketball. I'm sorry, Love and Basketball.
Now, I'm with you on that because I'm like, Love and Hip Hop.
I didn't mean that's a series.
There we go. Yeah, she's like, that's a reality show.
Love and Basketball, because I love their love story. It's so amazing.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And then the final question, what is your favorite color?
Purple.
Purple. Royalty? Is that what we're going to
I love the lilac. But it stands for royalty.
I love it.
Yeah, my mom was gone one summer. She came back and I had bought some painted my entire room. So I was on restrictions, but hey.
I mean, as you should have been. Yes. So Nikki, we're gonna go ahead and dive into the conversation. So Nikki, tell us just a little bit about what it is that you do as a purpose coach.
So as a purpose coach, it is my assignment to pull out everything that's in the person that I'm coaching. A lot of times they don't discover what's on the inside of them until someone points it out. And it's not something that you could buy. It's not something that someone can just do a hocus pocus on you. It's the giftings that's already on the inside. My assignment is to pull it out of you. Okay.
Okay, so when you use the word purpose, what does that actually mean? What does that mean?
It is that thing that you were destined on this earth to do. It's something that you can do with the breeze. You don't have to think about it. It's like second nature. It's like getting up in the morning, washing your face, brushing your teeth. Your purpose is that thing that you do with ease.
I love that. And so of course, as we're speaking with entrepreneurs, a lot of them, they're trying to figure out, how do I go, how do I start this business, or what do I do to start my business, or even some of those that are in their business and they're like, okay, this doesn't feel the way it did. They don't have that same excitement or whatever.
Right.
And so, for those people that you're working with and they're just like, okay, Nikki, I know I'm here on this earth for a reason.
Right.
Like, what's kind of like the process that you walk them through to help them discover their purpose?
Okay, so the first thing we would do is I would do an analysis to find out what it is, all of your giftings. Let's put them on a table. Let's figure out what it is that you do on a daily basis and how do you feel with doing it. Because sometimes you can do things every day and it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort. You don't like doing it, but you do it. And so we just narrow those things down into that thing that you do that comes with ease. So we do an analysis, a purpose analysis, where we find out what it is that you really like to do with an ease. After that, then we have discovered. We're going to discover it. Okay, wow, I had 10 things I started out with. I can do hair, I can do makeup, I can, 10 things that you started out with. But we end up with that one thing, or maybe 2 things that, hey, Bev, hey, Nikki, this is what I can do, and I love doing it. And once we discover what it is, then we go ahead and we do a blueprint. So we're going to write out, okay, if it's hair, if it's makeup, if it's baking cakes, we'll go ahead and we write out the steps that it's going to take for you to fulfill that purpose that we discovered that you're called to do.
I love that. And so one thing that you touched on that I think is huge, especially, when we're talking to entrepreneurs, is you said there are things that I do that I may not like to do.
Absolutely.
So even as an entrepreneur, like, what do we do? Because there are things in my business I don't like to do. So what do you suggest that I do about that?
I suggest you find someone that's purposed to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's someone that really can say, hey, Bev, I know you're busy doing, developing other coaches, working with other women in this entrepreneurship field. I can do your paperwork.
Yes.
Because listen, I don't like doing paperwork, but it's awesome when you can hire someone that said, this is what I love to do. There are people that really love to do paperwork.
I love it. And so kind of like that delegation thing.
That's
so
right.
I don't have to do it all.
Process of elimination.
Thank you. And Nikki, we're going to dive more into that because I know a lot of entrepreneurs, they're stuck in doing things that's just not a part of their calling.
Right.
So we're certainly going to talk about what they can do to kind of delegate that right after these messages. Hello and welcome back to Talking Business with Beverly. I am your host and business strategist. And so we're actually having a conversation with Nikki Boyd. Nikki is a purpose coach. And before the break, she was speaking with us about, making sure that we're doing things in our business that kind of light us up. And, we can kind of delegate those things that are not for us.
Right.
And so you were just talking about the fact that I can find someone that can, those things. So how do I know when it's time for me to kind of delegate that stuff to someone else?
When you start getting overwhelmed and when it starts taking away from your day-to-day assignments, like getting new projects out, like getting new things that you're trying to launch out for your coaching practice. You said, I'm spending too much time on this and it's not clicking. Hey, then guess what? I would do a post. How many of you love to do paperwork? Say, for instance, if that's your area that you need help in, please inbox me, DM me, and then do like a questionnaire. Send your resume. How many people have you helped in this field? How effective have you been? Because just because I've been doing it, I may not have been effective in it. So how many people have been effective doing this, and how do I know that you're going to be a successful result for me?
Oh, I love that, because once again, I'm not about to spend my time making a flyer.
Yes,
it's just like you said, if it takes me away from my genius, because it's always like, if it's something that only I can do, then I need to be the one doing that. Right. Someone else can create the flyer for me.
And I would gladly pay you.
Exactly. And that's key, because I know sometimes a lot of entrepreneurs, they're like, oh, I may not be able to afford to hire someone.
Right.
But actually you can't afford not to, because that time that you're wasting, 3 or 4 hours that you've wasted trying to create this flyer, someone else could have done it in 30 minutes. You could be out there promoting your business and still making more money.
And here's the other thing. Because it's not what you're passionate or called to do, you may create a flyer that's not so high. It may grab everyone's attention, but it may not be so good. And so your brand is important. And so if you just throw something together because you're rushing, and you just throw it together, and now this is a statement of who you are. Your brand is speaking volumes with your flyer. And so why not get someone that's gifted to do this, that's called to do this, that's purposed to do that, and pay them to do it?
Okay, did you hear? Okay, so I love the process that you kind of walk people through. So Nikki, when people usually come to you, like what stage or what phase are they at in life? Like what's really going on with them where they're just like, you know what, I can't continue to try to do this by myself?
They are all over the place. All over the place. It's like, so I can do this. They just start naming different things that they have been doing. It was one thing that my grandmother used to say, don't be a jack of all trades and a master of none. So when people come to me, they're jack of all trades. They can do so many different things. It's like, okay, and it's my job to say, come on in, just come on in. Let's put everything down. Also, people are visual.
That's true.
So when you give them, let them write it down and they see, wow, am I really doing all this? Is that really why at 7 o'clock I'm exhausted? Because you have your brain all over the place. But when you can bring it in, and so that's how they come. They come scatterbrained.
Okay, and then you kind of help them
Bring
get all
it
that stuff
together.
out. Okay.
Put all the circles over here, put all the squares over, like put everything to where it's supposed to be, you know.
I love that, Nikki. And so, so they've come to you, they're a little scattered, and now you kind of, sat them down, you said you do an analysis. And so now they have 3 areas. So do they run with the 3 areas, or do you say, hey, no, we need to take it to just one area and start there? Like, how do you kind of?
I like to say, let's start with one area at a time, because remember, they came scatterbrained with everything. So I think even having more than 2 things that they're working on, they're still overwhelmed, because something is not going to get the most attention. And so I like to start with one area at a time, and once we successfully complete that, then let's move on to something else.
I love it.
Everybody's not talented like you are there to juggle a lot of balls at one time. Like, yeah.
Hey, sometimes those balls hit all over the floor. Like, oh, shoot.
There's one.
So kind of let me ask you this. So someone has come to you and, you kind of narrowed it down. They have it down to 3 things, and it's, we're going to do this one little thing. And so it's writing. So like how do you kind of help them go from, okay, I really love to write. I've always been writing in a journal since I was a little girl. Like, how do you kind of take them from that passion into now, walking in their purpose?
What I've also noticed is with that, people say, oh, you wrote a book, you wrote 3 books already, I want to write a book. It's like, okay, great, let's get to work. But it's like when you start with putting in the work, oh, this is going to be too hard, I don't want to do this, let me just pay a ghostwriter, So basically, I give them different tips on how they can get started with the book, because everybody is not getting a notepad and using a pen and writing things down. There are different easy ways that you can jot down your journal or your book or your memoir, and to keep the process going. But it's going to take having, number 1, an accountability partner, number 2, endurance, when you feel like I can't do this, or even I have to have a sense of completion.
Yes.
So give yourself a time frame. By the end of this week, I need to be done with chapter 1. And so that's my, I tell people all the time, if you don't want to be pushed, then I'm not your coach.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm going to push you. Are you done with chapter 1? No, I'm not. Oh, really? You don't want to write this book?
The mama going to come out and be like, look, we're supposed to get this book written and set this deadline.
Week 1, what are you working on? So, yeah. So that's what I do.
So it's a lot of accountability when they work with you as a coach.
Absolutely.
And that's what you feel like a lot of them need, is that accountability piece.
Because I think it always starts out like a good idea. Because you did it, and I know you're really busy, so if you got it done, I can get it done. But there was a drive behind me getting it done. There was a purpose behind me getting it done. So my accountability to the one that I'm coaching is not for financial gain or anything. It's just I like to have a sense of completion, and so I know that they would, once they feel that, oh wow, I got it done, then they're on to the next chapter.
Gotcha.
Then on to the next.
Okay, that makes sense. So that accountability, and so we're certainly going to continue this conversation right after these messages. Hello and welcome back to Talking Business with Beverly. I am your host and business strategist, Beverly Walthour. So we've just been having an amazing conversation with Nikki Boyd.
Yes.
She's a purpose coach. So she's all about just ensuring that, you are walking in everything that you should be walking in. And just ensure that you're living this fulfilled life. And so, Nikki, for you, why do you feel like a lot of people are not walking in their purpose?
I feel like a lot of people aren't walking in their purpose because they're not even around people that are walking in that which they are called to do. And so you say, for instance, you're a singer, but you're around carpenters. It's not gonna get stirred up, It's like iron sharpening iron. And so the more that I'm around someone like Beverly, that says, okay, we're working, what are you working on? It makes you want to continue, want to sharpen that gift. And so I believe a lot of people aren't walking in their purpose because they are not around purpose seekers.
Oh, and that actually goes back to what we were saying right before that last break, the fact that you're kind of there to hold them accountable.
Right, absolutely.
And just kind of ensure that they walk through that process.
Absolutely.
And so for you, what's some of the the things that like really put a smile on your face when you're working with clients? Like, what are some of those things where you're just like, okay, God, this is my purpose right here? Like, what are some of those things that you see?
One of the things that makes me say, oh gosh, I'm so thankful that I accepted the call, is when they have that aha moment. It's like when the light bulb come on, they're like, oh my God, I could have been doing this for years. Thank you so much. And it's at that moment that I feel like, okay, all the sweat, stress, and strain was worth it, because now another person is getting ready to fulfill their purpose. So it's that aha moment.
I love that. And so it was one thing that you said a little earlier about a sense of completion. So for your people, they come to you, they have all these ideas, we can get it narrowed down to 3.
Right.
And then now, they have this one thing, and we use the writing as an example.
Right.
So then, they've now gotten out there, they've gotten their book out there. Is that it for them? Or, do you then say, okay, we check that off the list, let's go ahead and look and see what's next? Like, how do you kind of...
Well, then I would like to walk them through, you wrote this book, how's it going to get out? So then there's the the business part of it. So then I walk them through the business aspect of, now that I'm an author, how do I get in Barnes and Noble? How do I get on Amazon.com? How do I go into the schools? How do I go and do book signings at different places? And so that's where I come in. So it's not just, okay, I help you write your book, great, and I'm done. No, it's let's get these books sold. Let's try to get the #1 bestsellers.
I love that. So almost like, as that entrepreneur, those people that have that stirring, they're like, okay, I know I'm supposed to be an entrepreneur. So not only is she going to help you figure out what to do, but she's going to help you monetize. She'll help you make money too. So
isn't that the reason why you wrote?
I'm just saying. Some people, I'm just like, it's over there collecting dust. Let's do something with that book.
Absolutely.
So for you, what do you feel like makes you different from other purpose coaches out there?
I think what makes me different is I'm a people's person. So to me, it's not just you're my client, you're paying me to help you tap into, discover your purpose. But I really take you in like family. I walk you through every process, every step, and when you are done, I'm not just done. I still follow up, hey, how things are going. We have an event coming up. I invite you to things that you wouldn't have heard about except I invited you. So I like to continue to pull them in, and I think that's what separates me from everyone else, versus some people saying, hey, I'm your coach, that's it, pay me, I'm done, we don't talk outside of this. I'm more personal. Okay, so just continuing that relationship, even if the work is done. Right, absolutely. Okay, I love that. And so for you, what do you say to that person right now that they're just sitting here and they have a routine? They know they're supposed to be doing something different, but it's like they get up, they go to work, they come home, and it's like a continuous cycle, and they have that kind of urgent, I know it's something that I'm supposed to be doing. What would you say to that person? I would say get up and get moving, because you do the same thing. It's like routine. I get up, I go to work, I come home, I do it all over again. Get the kids, take the dog out, do it again. And it's like you feel like you're in this never-ending cycle. Well, I believe that there's a definition says that insanity is doing the same thing expecting different results. That's not going to happen. You have to do something different in order to see it. So once you work with me and we discover what your purpose is, somewhere along that day that you got to plug in working on your purpose. Okay, so kind of building it into what they already have, because sometimes people are like, okay, well, I don't have time. Yeah, or Nikki told me to go quit my job. That's not what you're saying. That's not what you said. No. It's kind of incorporating. Absolutely. Okay, so and I love that too, because some people, unless you were told to go take that leap and jump, take that jump, but it is something that you can kind of work with them as they're working with something else. Yes. Okay, absolutely. So and you do have clients that maybe they still working. Okay. And still working their purpose as well, because it takes money to make money. Say it again. So I gotta work. You gotta, you don't work, you don't eat. So yes. So yeah, I encourage them to just, you have to gradually place your purpose in your day. There's something every day. There's something that you have to do as it relates to your purpose. If you don't, it just becomes an awesome idea that you were excited about, and now that it's not working, we expect things to happen overnight. And because it's not happening overnight, we want to throw it inside. Okay, that's not it, and you throw that away.
Yes.
Till another bright idea comes.
Exactly. Yeah, we're the microwave society, so if it doesn't happen in the next 30 seconds, like, okay, on to
I don't want to do it. Yeah, no. You gotta work at it. Work at it.
Gotcha. Okay, and so this one little thing, you touched on it a little bit. So this person that is the writer, and they have all this other stuff going on. What would be one tip you would give to her or him, to kind of incorporate just one little activity in their day? What would you say to them?
I would say stay focused, and whatever time frame that you set for yourself. If you say, I'm going to write every night when the kids are down at 10 p.m., I don't care if you don't feel like it, because you will have what we call writer's block. You get blocked and you're like, nothing is coming out. I can't. Okay, well, sit in the room with some water flowing or something. I encourage them to always keep their time frame.
Okay.
So stay true to the time frame that you said that you were going to do each day in order to fulfill that day's writing assignment.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And so, Nikki, believe it or not, we are out of time. So just tell my viewers, how can they find out more information about you? So your social media and your website. Okay.
You can find me on Instagram at Pastor _ Nikki. You can also find me on Facebook, Nikki Canady, Canady, Boyd, Boyd. I'm on social media, Twitter, as well as Pastor Nikki. Also, our website is www.pastornikkiministries.com. You can find me there, and you can find some of our purpose items on there as well.
I love it. And so, Nikki, thank you once again
for joining us. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And so we also want to thank you, the viewers, for joining us as well. And remember, in order for you to create that time and financial freedom in your business, just ensure that you're taking care of your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial needs as well. Until next time.